Thanks for checking out our video series, Community Connections. The COVID-19 public health emergency has posed challenges for communities across the globe, not the least of which is staying connected with the citizens that make our communities great. These are the people that you see in the grocery store, the coffee shop, or walking their dog along the Duke. The intention of this video series is to bridge that gap and bring us together despite our physical separation. I hope you enjoy the segment.
Today I'm sharing the screen with Bob Lane, who's a community volunteer and a current BZA board member. Hi Bob, how are you doing today?
Great, Aaron. How are you today?
Well, working from home.
Yeah. Well, I'm retiring from home.
You might have more practice at this than me then. So we just have a few quick questions about life these days, if you don't mind answering them for us.
No, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. So how has COVID-19 impacted your personal life?
Well, there's a lot of impacts, I guess you'd say. But the one that kind of gives me pause is the financial one. As a retiree, I pretty much look to a significant portion of my daily income or my, usable income from my investments, if you will, my portfolio. And that certainly is a problem at this point. I don't really have enough just to keep taking it out. I kind of need some of it to stay there to earn more to keep me funded. So anyway, that's probably the most significant one. The other personal impacts are less and less, less significant to me at least.
So what's your daily routine look like now that we're in a pandemic? I know for me it's pretty different.
Yeah, mine is too. I will say we sleep about an hour later than we used to, and that's fine. And we tend to eat meals more regularly. I will say I'm probably gaining some weight because I'm eating three full meals a day, which back with a hectic schedule of personal activities before the pandemic or before the stay-at-home stuff. Quite often lunch was a small affair or a quick affair and not necessarily sit down at the table and eat something specific. So anyway, that's part of it. I used to be very active in the community with volunteer work. Always used to start off the day at a coffee shop with some friends. Obviously, all those things have changed. I don't do that. We were in Florida for a vacation during February and the first half of March, and we got back, literally the 15th of March to Williamsburg at home when everything kind of just got serious about being, protective and not going out and all that. So other than a few instances, 5 weeks now since we got back, a little more, Mary and I haven't really been out of the neighborhood. Like I say, maybe 3 times. And I'm very fortunate in that respect because I've got my daughter who lives nearby and she does errands for us, shopping and so forth. And my son who is between work assignments at the moment, so he's here with us and he does, the other part of this, the running around and errands and shopping. So we get to stay home literally. And so that's a big change in the routine for sure.
What do you look forward to doing the most when all the restrictions are lifted?
Probably the first thing that comes to mind is to be able to head out in the morning to the coffee shop and just sit down with friends and particularly a friend and, talk about whatever, the pastor's sermon the last Sunday. We don't talk politics, I will say that, but a book we're reading or a movie we saw or a restaurant we tried, those kinds of things. Just spending an hour and a half doing that. So that's probably the primary thing. And then beyond that, just to get back a little bit into what was the primary, I guess, part of my retirement life, and that's doing volunteer work.
What's your favorite stay-at-home snack? I know in our house we've been eating a lot of baked goods.
It's a trail mix that I make up myself, mixing peanuts and pecans and almonds and a few raisins, some candied ginger, that kind of stuff. That I've been doing that for a number of years now because nuts are a highly recommended type of food to eat for people like me, probably for anybody. And so anyway, that continues to be my go-to snack.
So how are you spending your time at home between meals?
I'm enjoying it. I've got more than enough to do so far. Granted, we're only 5 weeks into what appears to be a much longer situation, but there was a lot of yard work this time of year. There's a lot of garden work that I like to do. And with my son home here, as I said, in between his work assignments, his car is always in need of great repair. And so the two of us have been doing that. So I haven't at all had a chance to think about getting bored. And the part I like about it is typically when I'm doing all my regular stuff and running around volunteering and coffee shops and whatever else that would normally be done, but the garden and the yard work always kind of gets sandwiched in. Oh, I got a couple hours, let's see if I can get this done. And it's always a bit of a push, particularly in spring, to spread 100 bales of pine straw and try to get the garden and the yard and all that. Anyway, so this has just been wonderful because every day I realize, oh gosh, I got plenty of time to do this, and I can do it at my leisure and enjoy it, as opposed to, geez, can I get this done before I have to go somewhere else,
I think that might be something that comes out of all this, is maybe all of us will slow down a little bit and take time to enjoy the things that we like doing. At least I hope that's one of the things that comes out of it.
Yeah, I have to entirely agree with you, Aaron. But I also get cynical that human beings have short memories, and it may have an impact for, well, let's say a year, maybe two if we're good, but beyond that, I gotta think people will forget about it. But not remembered as vividly as they need to respond.
The all-important question that we're going to talk about today is, do you prefer cornbread or biscuits?
Oh yeah, honestly, at this point, it's cornbread is the preferred, only because it's a better carbohydrate for me than biscuits are.
So what are you most proud of about Williamsburg's community?
I'm very pleased about the way me as an ordinary Joe Blow citizen can participate in what goes on in the town. I mean, as you know, I've spent a number of years on the Architecture Review Board, and I've been involved with the CERT program and some of those things. But I really enjoy the thought that I can be aware of what's going on. I can be familiar that it's very approachable city from an organizational point of view, and I think. I've been here for the last, maybe a little more than 20 years, but the history of the city, for at least as far back as I can think of it, in my limited time here, has been superbly managed financially and organizationally, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud to live in a community like that.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Bob. It was good to see you. I can't wait to see you in the office again. Yeah,
I know. I miss stopping in there and catching up on office gossip and city situations.
Well, hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah, well, I hope so too.
Well, thank you, Bob. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. We'll see you again soon, okay?
All right, Ann. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for Community Connections and for doing your part to help slow the spread. I hope that you will continue to find ways to stay connected and be engaged. We're stronger together.